Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. Happy Friday, everyone. We did it. We made it. It's almost the weekend. We're here to tell you all the news you need to hear before that weekend so you can go on blissfully unaware of what's happening until Monday. We've got you covered with all the news you need to know here on the Friday News Dump. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 15 minutes before we started. We've just got some caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read live on stream. Let's get into today's headline. Today on the Friday News Dump, fresh wave of asylum hotel protests are expected after Epping ruling in the UK. Breaking news, Macron, Mertz, and Tusk to visit Moldova on August 27th to help bolster their EU Ascension.
Greetings, happy Friday from the United States. Cracker Barrel unveils a new low part of a rebrand, pissing off a lot of people, I guess. And the Asian elephant population is rebounding in Cambodia faster than previously thought.
OnlyFans owner Leonid Radvinsky paid $700 million in dividends ahead of its sale. And large Interpol cybercrime crackdown in Africa leads to the arrest of over 1,200 suspects.
Yes, and we're gonna eulogize two adjacent rock and roll stars. We have the original Magic Man from Heart and the man who is on fire for Pink Floyd.
In my culture news, Israel and Iran's governments aren't good. Neither is ours. Lowen, the metal band confronting a troubled Middle East. Interview by Matt Mills.
Right, and it's National Tooth Fairy Day. National Tooth Fairy Day, and that's the tooth. It is August 22nd, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Boo! The whole tooth and nothing but the tooth.
I got me my.
That's all we do here on Before Coffee. We hold the tooth in contention. Okay, I need to stop. I'm gonna get a lisp. I'm gonna get a speaking lisp if I keep doing that. If I speak wrongly.
It's the Jiminy Glick question. Why does lisp spelt that way? It's hard to say.
If you can say lisp, you don't have a lisp, and if you do, that's how you know.
All right.
Let's roll our wheel for our final show of the week. Mixed metaphor, the first segue of the final segue of the day, whatever. Mixed metaphor for my two stories here. The first one is coming out of the UK. There's been a new ruling about asylum seekers, and it's probably going to cause a lot of people to protest. This is by Helen Corbett on The Independent. A wave of protests outside hotels used as temporary accommodation for asylum seekers is expected in the coming days. It comes as the latest figures show that there were more than 32,000 asylum seekers in hotels, marking a rise of 8% during Labour's first year in office. I thought you were going to stop the asylum. Stand Up to Racism is preparing to hold counter-protests at Saudi hotels housing asylum seekers today, including Bournemouth, Cardiff, Leeds, with further demonstrations expected tomorrow on the 23rd of August. That's what it is, yes. Meanwhile, councils across the county, controlled by Labour, the Conservatives, and Reform UK, are investigating whether they can pursue legal challenges against asylum hotels. Hey, you can't keep people in your hotels. That's not what hotels are for. They're for... Wait, what are hotels for? Okay, I forget. What are hotels for again? This follows a Judge Grant... Sorry?
Parties and wedding receptions and parties.
Right. Party, yeah, that's all. You're not allowed to stay there for any other reason. This follows a judge granting Epping Forest District Council a temporary injunction on Tuesday, which was, I believe, the 19th of August, that blocked asylum seekers from being housed at Bell Hotel in Essex. So they've made a new ruling where certain hotels can't host asylum seekers. That's really interesting.
Only the kind where you got to bring your own towels. That kind, right? I got to bring my own towels. Don't trust these towels.
Yeah.
That kind. In other words, the one with the hourly rates, those hotels.
The council has argued that the injunction was needed amid unprecedented levels of protests and disruption in connection with asylum seeker accommodation. Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick said that people of Epping who protested and its council have led the way, writing in the Telegraph that our country's patience has snapped. A similar thing actually happened here in my village. They were building accommodation for all the people running away from Syria back in 2016, right? All the refugee crisis, and then a lot of people in the village protested, and then they just didn't build them, and they just left the whole land just unused for a long time. Just because, I mean, if the local people don't want asylum seekers in the state, I mean, it's probably for the best, because then you're just going to actually get violence, people attacking asylum seekers, or you're an asylum seeker, I'm going to, this is an excuse to have violence. It's like, okay, nobody wants them here, I guess we'll put them somewhere else. It's a tough decision to make as a government, really, right? The right thing to do is you can't force people to have empathy, sadly. So if they don't want to care about other human beings who are just trying to escape their shitty situations, I don't know what you're supposed to do there, really, as a government, right? What are you supposed to do when they're having violent protests in front and throwing stuff at hotels and destroying property? I mean, you can arrest all of them for doing that, obviously, but that doesn't get rid of the feeling, right? The community's feeling against the asylum. Yeah, you'd put them into forced education camps and teach them that asylum seekers aren't all evil, and they're just like everyone else.
They're not really,
brainwashing.
Yeah, the United States are always saying, they're giving these people money to stay in hotels, these illegal aliens. Aliens. How would the government be giving them money if they were illegal? They're not illegal. People that are illegal are not telling the government.
In the system. Yeah, they're not being provided by the government. They are legal. They have legal status as asylum seekers. Yeah. 100%.
All the government wants to know about them is their social security number, which doesn't even belong to them because they're not here legally.
Yeah.
And the government doesn't even care because they're paying in and they're never going to collect. So, anyway. So this... America, anyway, has this idiotic notion that asylum seekers are the same as illegal aliens. No, they're trying to get out of their shitty country, and they're going to go to work, and they're going to work hard. So why does everybody hate them so much? Sorry.
Exactly. Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick said that the people of Epping who protested and its council have led the way, writing in the Telegraph that our country's patience has snapped. His conservative colleague Chris Phillip, Shadow Home Secretary, said on Thursday that people have every right to protest over asylum hotels in their areas. The problem, I guess, with this as well is if people are anti-asylum seeker, is it because certain actors have portrayed negative stereotypes and told them that they're coming for them and, made a populist movement that's anti-asylum seeker, perhaps? That makes you think that they're the cause of all our problems? So if you get angry at the scapegoat, hey, all the problems will be solved. That's really the worrying thing here, is that are these people actually protesting asylum seekers, or are they protesting a scapegoat to blame for all the problems, which is actually the government's fault, not the asylum seekers. Labour has pledged to end the use of hotels to house asylum seekers by the end of Parliament in 2029. And then what will happen? What will happen is they're going to be housed in districts where nobody's living, right? Oh, nobody's living here. Nobody's lived in this house for ages. Let's put some... the asylum seekers are stealing our houses. That's going to be the next level of just keep going after the scapegoat. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper insisted Labour has taken crucial steps in the past year towards this by cutting asylum backlog and money spending on asylum system, increasing returns of failed asylum seekers, and overhauling appeals. Remember, Labour has only been in government for 1 year. And there has been, 20 years of conservative government. So that's a lot of stuff you have to, go through to figure out what the hell was going on. All the austerity measures, famously, that the Tories were famous for. While the number of asylum seekers housed in hotels has risen, government spending on asylum in the UK is down 20%. Data published on yesterday, the 21st, said. August 21st. The number waiting on an initial decision on an asylum application in the UK at the end of June dropped below 100,000 for the first time in 4 years. That's something to be celebrated, or not, depending on your opinion. Asylum seekers and their families can be housed in temporary accommodation, known as contingency accommodation, if they're awaiting assessment of their claim or have had a claim approved and there is not enough long-term accommodation available. When there is not enough housing, the Home Office, which has a legal obligation to provide accommodation to asylum seekers, it's their human right to have shelter, who would otherwise be destitute, they can move people to alternatives such as hotels and large sites like former military bases. Amid hotel protests, campaigners including rape crisis and refugee have warned conversations about violence against women and girls are being hijacked by an anti-migrant agenda. 100%. 100%. Every time something bad happens to a girl, there will always be people in the comments saying, I bet they were a freaking asylum seeker or refugee. No! They're just as likely to do a crime as you are, dude. You know who does crime? 80% of crimes are committed by men. But, you know, we're not saying, I bet it was, actually, I guess I am saying I bet it was a man.
Yeah, again, they do this in the United States. Or the truck driver was in an accident and some people died and the guy doesn't hear it here with the, legally. So, yeah, we're going to use this as to punish all people here,
Yeah, all people from a different country. They're all rapists.
We don't even care if they're here legally or not. They're all bad drivers and going to kill people. Let's ignore all the American bad drivers that kill people for some reason. They're just stupid.
Vanka here says, does the human right to housing excuse for local homeless people? No, it doesn't. See, the issues with unhoused people in countries where they already are from is that those systems are actually really bad and terrible and not fun. So here you've got
asylum is not about housing.
I know this is a crazy concept, but the people who are unhoused and are from the country they're unhoused in have more privileges than asylum seekers do. Because asylum seekers have to accept anything that's given to them, whether or not it's good or not. Whereas unhoused people can they don't have to worry about being deported. They can't get deported anywhere. If asylum seekers have legal
status until they don't. They're not here trying to hide out from the federales or whatever.
The thing with asylum seekers is that they are legally allowed to be in the country as long as they are not destitute. So if they send asylum seekers straight into being destitute, they're going to lose their status as under asylum, right? They need to follow a certain thing, right? They have to get a job, they have to make money, they have to be whatever to society. There's a lot of rules that are required for you to continue your asylum status, other than just asking for asylum. Whereas if I'm in the US and I want to be homeless, I can. They can't deport me anywhere.
Right, yeah.
They can't send me anywhere. I am from the United States. So the only thing they can do is send me to a housing, a homeless shelter, right? And then and then those places have rules too. Just like asylum seekers and refugees have rules they have to follow. People who go to homeless shelters have rules they have to follow. And if you don't follow those rules, you know what happens? You get kicked out of the shelter. So yes, and sadly, the problem with being unhoused is all to do with following rules, and sometimes those rules are easy, sometimes those rules are hard to follow, and in a lot of cases, it's just easier to not have to deal with them at all and live under an underpass. So that's why certain people in the UK, there's a lot of homeless people there, and they, in a way, right, I'm not saying it's their fault, but they do choose to not be in a shelter or not be in a place because they find it just too much trouble or just not nice. The people, like the local people working at the shelter are assholes to me. They hate me and they're always bullying me. There's like so many reasons why there's homeless people in the UK, because I know the UK has a terrible unhoused problem, or at least that's the stereotypes. But
you really over-explain-a-thon there.
Give me your mixed metaphor.
I had a mixed metaphor, but I changed it.
Okay.
This applies to the people that hate immigrants. This is from Bob Dylan from a song called "It's All Right, Ma, I'm Only Bleeding." It's about way towards the back, towards the end. It's a long song. It's got a bunch of mixed metaphors, and it goes like this. While one who sings with his tongue on fire gargles in a rat race choir, bent out of shape from society's pliers, cares not to come up any higher, but rather get you down in the hole that he's in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, make people jealous of people that have nothing somehow, and that's what's working in the United States, by the way. Those people have nothing. Punish them. They work hard. Punish them. Yeah. Anyway.
Asylum seekers and refugees do work very hard to get out of wherever shithole they're in, and then they want to put them back in 100%. My next story is a shorter story.
At this juncture,
is about European leaders visiting Moldova on the 27th, which I believe that's next week on Wednesday, so 27th of August. Because Moldova fears security concerns. This is from Rachel Green on Dem State. French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Mertz, and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk will visit Moldova next Wednesday to reaffirm their support for the country's security, sovereignty, and European aspirations, according to a report by AFP. This high-profile visit comes amid rising tensions in Eastern Europe and is seen as a strategic move to bolster Moldova's position as it navigates its path towards European integration. The leader's presence underscores the commitment of Western powers to support Moldova in the face of ongoing geopolitical challenges. Cough, cough, Russia. Moldova has been increasingly concerned about its security following Russia's aggression into Ukraine, which has raised alarms about regional stability. The country has been working to strengthen its ties with the European Union and NATO, seeking greater assistance in defense and economic development. This is something Ukraine tried to do after Crimea, but it just didn't work, and now they've been invaded, so as not a European Union state, they still left out to dry. So Moldova does not want to be left out to dry. They want to join EU as soon as possible, or NATO, or the UN. One of these things, right? That will stop them from getting attacked by Russia. And Moldova is a smaller country, so they really do need some bigger countries to back them up, like Poland, like Germany, like France. The upcoming meeting is expected to focus on security and cooperation and potential economic aid, providing a crucial boost to Moldova's efforts to align more closely with European standards. This visit aligns with recent developments in Eastern Europe, reflecting a broader commitment among Western nations to counter external threats and support democratic governance in the region. As previously reported, the situation in Eastern Europe remains fluid, with various nations reassessing their security strategies in light of recent conflicts. The visit by Macron, Mertz, and Tusk could pave the way for further discussions on collective security measures in the region. Yep, there's starting as long as the conflict in Ukraine keeps going, the more lines are going to be drawn, right? Are you on Russia's side or are you on the EU side? And in some cases, there are people in the EU who are choosing Russia's side, right? Like Hungary, right? Hungary is like, hey, just hear Russia out. Do not hear Russia out. They're not here to have a conversation. They're here to conquer as much land as possible because for some reason they think that is the government of Russia historically has thought that is the only solution to all their problems is to just start taking land. That will solve something. What about governing better? No, that's crazy. Governing better? Caring about our people? That's crazy. All I care about is the rich oligarchs. Those are the only people I care about. Give me a mixed metaphor. Told you it was a shorter story.
All right. Okay. Russia is like that rich uncle. You know, that rich uncle that's always offering to babysit?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll babysit for you. And you're like, no thanks, Uncle Vlad. We have a service we signed up for.
I'm good. Thank you. No,
Your
please.
babysitting uncle.
Yeah.
We don't trust your creepy little uncle for babysitting. We already have a service. Okay. And he is little, by the way. He's a very short man.
Let's roll our segue wheel for more segue.
I'm trying to find the video now. I gotta find this video. I'll find it in a minute when it's not my turn.
My segue is sarcasm.
Sarcasm 4. We're going to talk about, first of all, Cracker Barrel, I guess. We'll get the amusing story out of the way first. Cracker Barrel unveils a new logo as part of a wider rebrand. AP News has the story updated yesterday. New York. Here's the byline. Cracker Barrel is marching forward with an ongoing makeover. And to the dismay of some fans, the chain's new logo now ditches the barrel itself. Oh boy. Do they keep the crack, though? I don't know if they keep the crack. Or rather, the drawing many have associated with Cracker Barrel over the years. The man leaning on that barrel is also gone. I think he'd be associated with being a guy guarding a still, maybe. You know, the old hillbilly trope. The man leaning on that barrel is also gone, as are the words "Old Country Store." Instead, the new emblem features a simpler design with just Cracker Barrel written on gold background, which also has a semi-updated shape. Anchored in Cracker Barrel's signature golden brown tones, the updated visuals will appear across menus and marketing collateral. The Tennessee-based company wrote on Tuesday announcement. Cracker Barrel added that its logo is now rooted even more closely to the iconic barrel shape and word mark that started it all. According to Cracker Barrel, this latest look marks the brand's fifth evolution of its logo to date. It was unveiled as part of a campaign from the company called All the More, which also advertises some new fall menu items. Cracker Barrel has been working on a wider rebrand for some time. Beyond a new logo that included remodeling its country-style restaurants and retail stores, the company began ramping up its overhaul last year by swapping out older, more antique-filled designs and lighter paint and modern furniture. Founded in 1969. Wow, I thought it was older than that. I'm kind of disappointed it isn't older than that. 69, that seems like... I would hope it would have predated me. So I'm just like, it's not even part of the culture if it was there after I was born, as far as I'm concerned. It was just an add-on later to usurp people's dollars for no real good reason. Founded in 1969, Cracker Barrel operates nearly 60 locations across the U.S. today. Those attached to the chain's previous look, or attracted, have been quickly expressed ire about the new logo and restaurant model online. Our values haven't changed, and the heart and soul of Cracker Barrel hasn't changed, Cracker Barrel said in a statement sent to the Associated Press on Tuesday. The company added that the man in our former logo, known as Uncle Herschel, remains front and center in our restaurants and on our menu, and he represents the Herschel Way, which is the foundation of how 700,000 plus employees provide the country hospitalities for what we are known. Yeah, they have some good gone home fixings sometimes. Kind of a tourist trappy type restaurant. If you're not familiar, they have a lot of junk you can buy in the store. It used to be moderately priced, but you can see now that it's total hack prices for stuff that doesn't last that long. But it's a quaint little place to pull off on the side of the road. You can feed your family for a decent price. That's all I got to say for it. Where's your
you already forgot. It was sarcasm.
I don't have to.
I'm really happy all these brands are slowly reducing their brand uniqueness and just going to plain, boring shapes. Oh, right. It's a shape there. And
unoffensive, unappealing, on everything. By the way,
I feel like a 12-year-old. Oh no, sorry, not a 2-year-old. You know? Ooh, I like the yellow store. I like the blue store.
Whoa, my God! There's 30. My favorite is when people boycott stores for they have a vegan menu. How does that hurt you? That's something. That's something that's going to hurt you somehow. I'm just so confused by that. Oh my God, they're selling the wrong beer. I'm not. Man, I don't eat out unless I'm on the road, so it doesn't really matter to me too much.
Yeah, that's the only time I think I've only gone to Cracker Barrel once. Just because. Let's go out to eat. No, I mean, other than being on the road, going there just where we live, right?
When it opened here, we went. I don't know if
when it opened. That's the last time I've probably been to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. So anyway, I probably should go. If somebody wants to take me to Cracker Barrel, Give me a gift card for my birthday. Hell, give me one for Labor Day. Give me a Labor Day present.
Labor Day Cracker Barrel card.
Cracker Barrel gift card.
I'll send one to you through our Patreon support, okay? From the Patreon.
I'd rather have an elephant than a Cracker Barrel. Although I don't want to feed the elephant. I don't want to feed it. That's the only problem with that. You don't want a pet elephant. They tend to eat you. They tend to eat everything, right?
Elephants are very... I don't think they eat anybody, but okay.
No, I mean, they don't eat people. They probably tried it and said, nope, that's not for me. Anyway, this is from APnews.com. So Feg Chang and David Rising. The Asian elephant population in Cambodia is more robust than previously thought, a study finds. Phnom Penh, Cambodia, a genetic study of Asian elephants in northern Cambodia published Thursday reveals a larger and more robust population than previously thought, raising hopes that the endangered species could slowly recover. Researchers from the Fauna and Flora Conservation Group collected samples from elephant dung in Cambodia's northern plains and extracted DNA. From the DNA, they were able to identify individual elephants, estimate population size, and determine the sex of the animals and the overall genetic diversity of the population. From their work, they estimated there are 51 elements in the Prey Lang, Prey Roca, and Chob wildlife sanctuaries with greater genetic diversity, a critical factor for long-term viability. The researchers said that in 2 other areas of the country in which they live, with sufficient suitable habitat remaining in the region, the population has the potential to grow if properly protected, the report concludes. Overall, some 400 to 600 Asian elephants are believed to remain living in the wild in Cambodia. Researchers said the study's findings underscore the potential of the northern areas studied to become a national stronghold for them, contributing to Cambodia's biodiversity conservation goals. Habitat degradation, especially when it leads to fragmentation, continues to be a serious concern. Pablo Sanovas, director of the Fauna and Flora in Cambodia, told the Associated Press, "This study provides a robust basis on which to base conservation efforts and landscape management." The study, supported by U.S. aid funds, which is Elon Musk destroyed earlier this year, and Britain's People's Postcard Lottery, was conducted in collaboration with the Cambodia Environment Ministry. The genetic testing was done in the Royal University of Phnom Penh and technical support of Royal Zoological Society in Scotland. The research was carried out in the 2021 dry season, so it was 5 years ago when the research was carried out. So we've probably had quite a few elephants born since then, I would hope. They have I believe, a 2-year gestation period.
Yeah,
the research was carried out, but Sanovas said since elephants reproduce slowly, which I just kind of said, it is not thought that the population size would have changed significantly since then, but it could have. Researchers want to replicate the study elsewhere in Cambodia and in other countries, such as neighboring Vietnam, where the Asian elephants live in fragmented populations. Yeah, elephants, they got to be able to meet up and diversify their gene pool. Is what our goal here is. We don't want a bunch of inbreeding with a bunch of bad mutations. We were very pleasantly surprised with the results of the project, said Alex Ball, Conservation Manager, Royal Zoological Society of Scotland. We are now hope to expand the methodology across Cambodia and beyond, helping to build a clear picture of Asian elephant numbers, which will inform how best we can work to help reverse the decline of these spectacular animals. There's your story on elephants. Sarcasm time. No.
Elephants. Well, it's a good thing elephants are getting smarter than us because they can replace us along with those ants.
Heck yeah.
The weaving ants and the elephants.
That's the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the elephant's the biggest thing on the planet.
Ground animal.
Land animal.
And
all right, there's your story.
Obviously, they should have big brains because of that, I would say.
Yeah, they should have big. They have prodigious memories, and they live a long time. So yeah, elephants are.
And they're very empathetic. They're very caring. So.
We confuse animals for. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of sentient.
I just can't being sarcastic.
I know a human. Yeah, a lot of humans aren't as sentient as elephants are, as far as empathy. As far as empathy goes, elephants actually feel like, oh shit, that's somebody suffering.
I was like that elephant that killed that woman in Africa.
Oh, we can do another one of those stories. We got another story about a guy getting trampled by an elephant and he's trying to hunt. That's not today, though. On to
All
the
right, our
next.
next segue is mixed metaphor again. Do you want to re-roll?
Oh, sure.
Re-rolling time.
Mixed metaphor is broken again, man. Wheel. I don't understand it.
I don't know why you're getting it. I want to get it. Remind you of a song. Okay, I got 2 stories here to get songed up in. Oh, wrong. There we go. My first story is about OnlyFans owner is making a lot of cash off of the app as he's getting ahead on dividends. So he's paying $700 million in dividends ahead of the sale of OnlyFans. So explain what that means. I don't know what that means. What is a dividend?
A dividend? A dividend, stock dividend that pays on your stock.
Okay.
Right?
So you buy a stock for $1 and then the dividend is now $20.
Right. It'll pay quarterly, semi-annually, whatever. It'll pay you a dividend on that stock, and not all stocks pay dividends. Preferred stocks only.
So as the owner, he probably has a lot of stock in his own company. And
of course, you can set it up. He set it up the way he wanted to. Of course, and
so he's made $700 million from just his stocks. The payout is to the Ukrainian American entrepreneur, 43, was disclosed today in financial filings for the year that ended in November 30th by the Phoenix International Ltd, a London-based company in charge of running the brand. OnlyFans allows content creators to offer X-rated subscription material directly to fans, a feature that is restricted on other social media platforms. As of November 30th, 24, the company had a cash balance of $808 million. The group employs just 46 people directly, the Financial Times reports. In May, it was reported that the company was exploring a sale at a potential valuation of $8 billion, according to Reuters. Recent filings show that the revenues had shot up by 9% to $1.41 billion in 24. So that's how much profits they made. Sorry, revenue. That's how much revenue they made, not profit. The profit is subtracting how much it costs to run the company, which we don't know, so they didn't tell us. Compared with the previous year, it took in around $7.2 billion from subscribers over the year and paid out $5.8 billion back to creators. So that would be okay. So that is the profits. They took in $7 billion in subscriptions, paid out $5 billion, so around $2 billion they made for themselves to, pay for other things. The site's popularity shows no signs of slowing down. The total number of creators growing by 13%, hitting 4.6 million. Creators earn 80% of all payments made by fans on the platform, which is one of the best payouts, sadly, one of the best payouts per platform on the internet. So you don't even have to do X-rated content. You can, but you can probably make a lot of money just making non-X-rated content on there just because you get an 80% payout. I think YouTube does 70% payout. So even on YouTube, you're not making as high as 80% payout. Crazy. Audience-wise, there continues to be a growing demand.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I'll make it before coffee. OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. You're going to be disappointed.
Because OnlyFans is for X-rated content, you do have to provide a lot of information. You have to give, I think, your address, some sort of social security number. You have to basically prove that you're a real person that is 18 plus. So that, obviously they don't want underage people using the platform. So there's a lot of things, and you have to have a bank account and all sorts of things.
I worked for the government, so I'm totally used to being my privacy being totally invaded. They know everything about me. Totally not. Totally,
but they also want to. I think it's a one-way authentication, so somebody on OnlyFans can't can't look at your
They
data.
better not.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Some people are like, oh, I don't want some dude finding out my address. It's not. It's just a program reads it, confirms it with the government somewhere. Like if, for example, in the United States, they'll probably just say, oh yeah, your social security number exists on the database with your name matching the tax office, right? So that matches. You're a real person. Woohoo! Something like that.
Yay! Happens. All right, man.
Audience-wise, there continues to be a growing demand for the exclusively paid content. So that's not subscription-based, but actually just make me a video of you twerking. I'll give you $5, and get $5 from that. With 377.5 million paying to access photo and video material globally. The company is headquartered and pays tax in the UK, but takes the majority of its profits from US sales. That's right. There's a bunch of perverts in the United States. We know where you live, and it's in the United States. All those perverts.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong being a pervert.
I always like the Pornhub map, which shows the type of porn, of porn per state, which ones they like, and it's always funny. But like the southern states are onto some weird shit. Anyway, sorry, digress.
According to OnlyFans, significant growth in profitability was owed to the increase in platform users and higher earnings for existing creators. Chief Executive Kelly Blair, who formerly worked as a privacy lawyer, told the FT that OnlyFans had expanded in new verticals, demonstrating the strength and potential of the platform across a wide range of genres in the year. That's right. You don't only have to be naked and doing sex acts. You can also just do a lot of slightly sexy things,
I could have a cooking show and reveal my
show, but
recipe.
You're wearing a bikini the whole time. I'm just saying, right? There's some things on OnlyFans that are not X-rated at all, but there are things that are not seen as family friendly, so you would not be able to do it on YouTube, right? YouTube will you're like what happened to my channel, right? I'm doing yoga in sometimes normal clothes and sometimes yoga pants, whatever. My channel got marked as sexually gratifying content because I'm doing yoga on my YouTube channel. On OnlyFans, they wouldn't give a shit. They won't care.
The lowest common denominator finds that whatever stimulating,
sexually appealing.
I'm surprised. Did we ever get a hit for my poster of Demi Moore back here? She's not wearing any clothes.
I think the reason why it happened to me is because I was actually a monetized creator. So we're currently small fish. We're minnows in the pond of creators. So YouTube, as far as they're concerned, we don't exist. The only thing they get is the auto claims on our content from copyright strike. And that's auto claim. That's a robot, right? That's not anybody at YouTube.
Oops, sorry.
Bless you. But anyways, let's continue with the story. Chief Executive Kelly Blair, who formerly worked as a privacy lawyer, told FT that OnlyFans had expanded in new verticals, demonstrating the strength and potential of the platform across a wide range of genres in the year. Initially founded in 2016 by British entrepreneur Tim Stokely, it was then sold to Radvinsky, a previous owner of adult websites, for an undisclosed sum in 2018. Ooh. The site made headlines with the controversy surrounding sexfluencer Bonnie Blue after she was blacklisted from the content site after touting and posting extreme sex challenges. Yes, she was doing stuff like sleeping with 1,000 men in one day, which it's similar to the stuff we talked yesterday, right?
Not a lot of sleeping
going
there.
into the extremes, right? Going into the extremes of things is just going to be challenging to society, and let alone a website, right? Snuff stuff, all this weird stuff. They have to have limits. They have to have laws, because unfortunately that stuff is illegal for a reason, because it can cause harm, right? I don't know if sleeping with 1,000 people can cause harm. I think it would. Personally, I've never even gotten close to that number, so I wouldn't know, but I haven't even gone to 50 or, not even 20. I don't even know. I don't know. It's a very small number, personally, for me, so I think 1,000 would definitely be crazy amount of, in one day, right? In one day, that's a lot. Several notorious figures have openly revealed that they post content on the site, including pro tennis player Sasha Vickery, who is simultaneously competing in the US Open qualifiers while she generates cash on OnlyFans. The site draws both favorably and condemnation, with some branding it exploitative, while others praise it as a lucrative resource for generating a modern-day income. OnlyFans is a strictly 18-only site, utilizing facial scanning and other tools to vet its users. And the OnlyFans was contacted for comment, but they have not so far said anything at all. So there you go, update on the stock dividends of OnlyFans is making a lot of money, and the users are making a lot of money, and it's just a successful site overall. Hey, what do you know? Sex sells, says everyone since the history of humanity. Probably the history of life. Sex has been selling.
The internet was invented, and 5 minutes later there was porn on the internet. Yeah. It just follows. It's like, yeah, we're depraved human beings in every way.
Also, hello Yin, thank you for stopping by. Good happy Friday, and thank you for claiming your third place here in the stream. Do you have does that remind you of a song? It reminds me of a song.
Yeah, it's Hard Out Here for a Pimp is the song it reminds me of.
Yeah, with OnlyFans, you don't need pimps anymore. You are the pimp.
From the movie Hustle and Flow. It was Academy Award-winning song from the movie Hustle and Flow by 3 6 Mafia. It's hard out here for a pimp because, oh boy, my bitches got to keep me in line. All right, next story.
The song reminded me of is, of course, Roxanne, because I was listening to the Police yesterday. Except instead of turn on the red lights, turn on the blue light, because OnlyFans is famously has a blue branding.
Right. Yeah, and Roxanne nowadays is not even a girl you can touch. Right?
Oh, right. Yeah, she's just.
Oh, I wish you were mine, Roxanne. Please take off that red dress. But Roxanne's working for a pimp, and that pimp is OnlyFans.
Hey, making 700 million dividends. My next story, which is shorter. I believe this is the shorter story. I hope it is coming out of Africa. That's right, we've got some African news. Sometimes we have some, and it's always exciting. There's been a large Interpol cybercrime crackdown in Africa that has arrested 1,200 suspects. This is by Wilson McMacken on AP News. Coming out of Dakar, Senegal, a major cybercrime crackdown coordinated by Interpol has led to the arrest of 1,209 suspects across Africa and the recovery of nearly $97.4 million. The organization announced today on the 22nd of August. Dubbed Operation Serengeti 2.0. The operation took place between June and August. It brought together investigators from 18 African countries and the UK to fight harmful cybercrimes, including inheritance scams, ransomware, and business email compromise. I am a Nigerian prince, and I am giving you all my money. Thank you. Although the scams targeted nearly 88,000 victims, the International Police Organization stated in a statement altogether. Interpol said the authorities in Angola dismantled 25 cryptocurrency mining centers where 60 Chinese nationals had been mining cryptocurrency. The operation resulted in the confiscation of equipment worth over $37 million. The government now plans to use the equipment to support power distribution in vulnerable areas. I think the idea here is it's not illegal to be mining cryptocurrency, but they were draining the power system of Angola. And they weren't
all that computer power.
I can't run my fucking water because there's no electricity because somebody has a 37 million cryptocurrency mining center.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
All that power just going into frickin' nothing. I mean, generating wealth for assholes. Yeah. Yay!
In Zambia, the operation dismantled an online investment scheme that defrauded more than 65,000 victims of an estimated 300 million through a fraudulent high-return cryptocurrency scam. That's half of the dividends the OnlyFans owner made. Damn.
Yeah, greed will get you, boys and girls. Stop thinking you're going to get an easy payout. It don't exist. It was too good to be true. It sounds too good to be true. It is.
Yes. The scammers lured victims.
Cryptocurrency is a scam. It's a scam 100%. From start to finish. Some of them worse than the others.
The scammers scammed. Don't worry about it. Yeah, the scammers lured victims into investing into cryptocurrency through extensive advertising campaigns promising high yield returns. Victims were then instructed to download multiple apps to participate, Interpol said. It said the 15 people had been arrested and the authorities seized evidence including domains, mobile numbers, and bank accounts. In locating the scam center in Zambia, authorities also disrupted a suspected human trafficking network. woo, man, they're doing all of that. That's not even included in scamming. I mean, in a way, human trafficking is a scam because they're like, hey, you look like you could be a model. Now you're working in a cam girl studio. Okay. That's not what I thought when you said model. Interpol has also said it's dismantled a transnational inheritance scam in the Ivory Coast, which had originated in Germany. Victims of that scam were tricked into paying fees to claim fake inheritances, causing 1.6 million in losses. Despite being one of the oldest running internet frauds, inheritance scams continue to generate significant funds for criminal organizations, he said. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who don't have a lot of money. If your aunt Beatrice just died and she left you 1.6 million, I'd be like, hell yeah. I don't know even if I have an Aunt Beatrice. Interpol, which has 196 member countries and is celebrated in its centennial last year. Oh, congratulations, Interpol.
Wow.
It's the world's largest international
Anyway.
police network to combat international crime. Headquartered in Lyon, France, it works to help national police forces communicate with each other and track suspects and criminals in areas like counterterrorism, financial crime, child pornography, cybercrime, and organized crime. In recent years, it has grappled with new challenges, including a growing caseload of cybercrime and child sex abuse, and increasing divisions among its member countries. Last year, in the first Operation Serengeti, they did one last year and this year, Interpol arrested over 1,000 people in operations that had targeted 35,000 victims. So when they said 2.0, they meant 2.0, because this one was, 88, what did they say? It was 1,200 more people. So 200 more people were found, and this covered 65,000 victims who were defrauded in Zambia, for example. So great job, Interpol. Happy centennial, or belated centennial. I guess it's 101 years now, and breaking up all that bullshit happening in Africa. Right. And getting some people some power, right? The cryptocurrency, getting some people some power. Cause like, oh, why can't I do anything? No electricity. China over here having illegal cryptocurrency mine. What?
Oh yeah, mining reminded me of a song. It reminded me of that song, 16 tons. Yeah, you load. In the song, you load 16 tons, but in my version, you load 1,600 lines of code, and what do you get? Nothing. You got screwed because you get ripped off for some phony cryptocurrency. Congratulations.
You downloaded 15 apps and you still got scammed. It was bad.
That's right. Wow, I loaded all that code. I got one digit wrong. No. Oh, shit. No. It's nothing. Okay. You get what you play. You're trying to get rich without working for it. I kind of don't sympathize with you at all. You got scammed. Tough shit. Go work for a living. How about that? Instead of just trying to scam people.
All right. It's time for me to write you some limericks for your next story.
Oh, golly. Limericks. Okay, we have two stories. We'll do the first one. This is the most recent one. If you know the band Heart, you probably know their first hit song was called Magic Man. And that song was written about a specific person. And that person has passed away. His name was Michael Fisher, the original Magic Mike. Let's look at him that way, right? Michael Fisher, Heart co-founder Michael Fisher passes away. This is from mynorthwest.com, which is local to Seattle, which is where Heart started in the northwestern United States. Group was formed from musicians from the Seattle area and from British Columbia. Heart co-founder Michael Fisher, founding member and guitarist of the Seattle Heart band, rock band Heart, passed away. Michael's brother Roger confirmed his passing on social media Tuesday. It is with deep sadness and heavy hearts that our family, of course, Roger Fisher was the lead guitarist for Heart. Just wanted to mention that. It is with deep sadness and heavy hearts that our family has experienced the loss of the incredible spirit Michael Fisher was to all of us, Roger wrote on Facebook. Heart formed their band in 1967 with bassist Steve Fossen and brothers Michael and Roger Fisher. The group had a few name changes before landing on Heart, including Army, Hocus Pocus, and White Heart. Heart's debut album, Dreamboat Annie, released in 1976, went double platinum and peaked at number 7 in the Billboard 200. Heart went on to release 2 more albums. With the Roger brothers, Little Queen, with his brother Roger, Hart went on, let's do this again. Hart went on to release 2 more albums with the Fisher brothers, not the Roger brothers, a typo there. Little Queen and Dog and Butterfly. Sisters Ann and Nancy Wilson joined the band in early mid-70s. Ann joined in 1970. Nancy followed 4 years later in 1974. That's the classic lineup, you know. The Fisher brothers and Wilson sisters started an inter-band romance shortly after the sisters joined. Michael dated Ann and Roger dated Nancy.
And then what did we learn? Don't do that.
Romance groups. Oh, yeah. And that a few years later, following the release of Hart's third album, Dog and a Butterfly, Roger and Nancy broke up in 1978. Later in 79, Roger quit the band. He's like, yeah, I can't watch my ex-girlfriend date somebody else. I'm out of here. Michael and Ann broke up soon after, and Hart was left to be fully taken over by the Wilson sisters. Michael passed in the comfort of his home, surrounded by his close family. His wife, Danny, brother Roger, sister Kay, was cherished, 11 children. Just what Mike would have wanted, Roger stated. And Michael will forever be missed by all of us. So, this doesn't mention in the story, but if you know the song Magic Man, that's who Ann Wilson wrote the song about, was her boyfriend, Michael Fisher, who, you know, come on home, girl. His mama cried on the phone, but it didn't work. She stayed with Magic Man. They made a lot of songs together. So I guess you're going to have hopefully that short story was not too short for you to produce.
Just keep going.
Awesome.
I'll give you your limericks at the end.
Okay, so limericks about Hart, Seattle, Vancouver, lots of things you can rhyme with there. Our other story about, we want to call, I don't want to call Mike Fisher adjacent. He basically started the band, so again, he was very important. But this guy is definitely adjacent to celebrityhood, and he was a stuntman. This is RollingStone.com. Ronnie Rondell Jr., fiery stuntman on Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here" cover, that's died at the age of 88. Skip to main content. Ronnie Rondell Jr., the longtime Hollywood stuntman immortalized on fire for the cover of Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here," has died at the age of 88. He died at a senior living facility in Missouri, his family announced. No cause of death was provided. A stuntman and actor with over 200 credits on his filmography, Rondell Jr. is perhaps best known for a single photograph, the iconic cover of Pink Floyd's 1975 album "Wish You Were Here," where he was lit on fire on a Hollywood backlot at Warner Brothers Studios, shaking hands with a man in a suit named Danny Rogers. I'd been doing a lot of firework in those days, and I had the special suits and all the stuff for fully enveloped fire, Rondell said in a documentary, Pink Floyd, the story of "Wish You Were Here." It was pretty easy to do, not too life-threatening, and it paid well. To capture the photo, conceived by Hypnosis Storm Thorgerson and Audrey Powell, Rondell was reportedly lit on fire 15 times as wind and other factors. There's a funny thing about fire. When it gets in your face, you're going to move, Rondell Jr. added, force the many attempts. Yeah, right. The wind would blow it in his face and they'd have to put him out and start over again. During the shoot, the flames caused Rondell Jr. to lose an eyebrow and part of his mustache, but the finished product was worth it. "Wish You Were Here" is routinely hailed as one of the greatest album covers of all time. Ronnie was very gracious about it, but as far as he was concerned, as a professional in the movie industry, it was all in a day's work. Paul said of Rondell Jr.'s contribution, real professional. In a big screen and small screen career that spanned from 1955 to 2003, Rondell appeared significantly, albeit anonymously, or served as a stunt coordinator in films and shows like Lethal Weapon, Batman and Robin, Twister, The Crow, Predator 2, They Live, The Karate Kid, Commando, and TV's Charlie's Angels. While he retired in 2000, he returned for one final film, a chase sequence in 2003's The Matrix Reloaded, where his son R.A. Rondell served as a supervising stunt coordinator. Stunt men are going out of style as CGI is just now. You don't have to do these dangerous stunts. You just fake it now, but not back in
I don't think so.
1975, 74. Well, I'm just saying you can fake a lot of stuff. It isn't completely.
Yeah, you can CGI.
Of no use,
but it is more expensive to do it that way.
Here's your story. Hopefully, you got a.
I got two
limerick
limericks
about
for you.
Two limericks. Let me get the soundboard ready.
In a world where the melodies play, sweet Mike Fisher has drifted away. With a heart full of song and our memory strong, his music will forever stay. Then, in a world where the echoes still steer, a stuntman who danced without fear, with "Wish You Were Here," he soared through the cheer. Now the flames of the music hold dear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Hey, but there's something to celebrate about being a stuntman and dying of old age, I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Especially
impressive.
when you get. Not many people get set on fire 15 times in one day.
Somebody on OnlyFans, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, and you couldn't wear a face covering. That's a problem with this whole picture. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not getting a face covering, so
You have to cover your face with Vaseline. Protect it from
sign
the...
this waiver.
Yeah.
Sign this waiver saying you won't sue us. Okay, now let's go.
Our next segue is Tell Me a Joke. And we're going to talk about the Middle East and a metal band who's trying to, do what metal bands do, which is scream loud and tell the truth and tell people to wake the hell up, honestly. This is an interview by Matt Mills on The Guardian with the band Lowen. Formed by the daughter of Iranian refugees, the UK trio are sampling the sound of Israeli bombs and championing women's rights as they confront authoritarianism. Nina Saidi is wearing green, gold-encrusted robe and holding an antique knife above her head. After unsheathing the blade, she pokes it into her stomach and then makes a slitting motion across her throat. Although these may seem like a ritual action of a priestess, Saidi is actually performing it on stage in Bristol's festival Arctangent last weekend, singing with her metal outfit Lowen in a cramped tent. It's a Turkish Ottoman dagger, she tells me backstage later that day. I got it in some very cool, obscure-looking vintage shop in Turkey last year. I'm really interested in historical items from that region, but because I can't go to Iran, I have to gather things from around the Silk Road and places like that. Saidi is a Briton of Iranian descent, her parents having fled their home country to seek asylum following the 1979 revolution. She was born in exile and does things every day that would break the law in Iran. It is forbidden for women to sing by themselves in public. In 2015, members of the thrash metal band Confessed were arrested for blasphemy and propaganda against the state simply because they made anti-establishment music. In the 1980s, the Iranian government kept Saidi's aunt in prison for 9 years and tortured her due to her socialist activism, forced she to escape to the UK. She has horrific PTSD, the singer says. She's basically my second mom. She raised me and she would take me to protest. I kind of got my political acumen from her. Truth Lowen, a twist on the word lion, as the band believes the animal symbolizes power in Eastern and Western cultures. Saidi expresses her passion for Iranian history and her disdain for the country's authoritarian regime. On last year's debut album, Do Not Go to War with the Demons of Mazandaran, named after a chapter from the epic Persian poem, the Shahnameh, she sings in English, Farsi, and extinct languages such as Sumerian. She also uses the Tahir vocal technique, a wobbling wail distinct to Iranian classical music. The first line of the song, Najang ba divvahe Mazandaran, is "Let this be the death of silence," announcing the band's defiant intent. I will not be silent. The title of Corruption on Earth comes from the charge Iran gives political prisoners before executing them. Oh, corruption. You've corrupted Earth. We are executing you. Its lyrics address the woman, life, freedom movement. Nationwide demonstrations that followed the death of the 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who was allegedly tortured for not adhering to Iran's strict clothing laws for women. From the movement's beginnings in late 22 through September 23, Iranian authorities killed at least 551 protesters. Not arrested, people. Killed. Murdered on the street. I felt guilt for not being there, Saidi says, when she mentions the protests. I'm not in such a privileged position that I can make music here. If I were in Iran, I'd be happy that I'd be with my family, that I'd be able to explore the country, but I would not have the freedoms that I have here. Since releasing the album last October, Lowen's powerful themes and labyrinth sound have made them one of the UK's hottest metal acts. Metal Hammer put Do Not Go to War in its top 10 albums of 24. The band have toured with former Ozzy Osbourne guitarist Zakk Wylde, and this summer, as well as Arc Tangent, they played at Download Festival. But the genre in which Saidi is rising star was banned at home when she was young. My dad was quite tyrannical, she remembers. A lot of people assume it's because of religion, but he just didn't like the noise. If I turned a page too loudly in my book at night, he would come in and scream at me. Classic rock and Middle Eastern folk were permitted when Saidi's father wasn't around. Eventually, in an act of protest, she picked up an issue of Kerrang! And bought albums by the two bands that stood out most: Armenian-American four-piece System of a Down and UK black death metal provocateurs Akercock. Both became my favorite band, she said. Akercock are extremely sexual but kind of empowering, in my opinion, for women. As a teenager growing up in extremely Middle Eastern household, this was a crazy shocking. If someone was kissing on TV, the channel would get changed. Saidi met guitarist Shem Lucas at Akercock's show in London, and they founded Lowen in 2017. The band will play their biggest headline concert to date at Camden's Underworld in December, and they're in the middle of writing their second album, which will reference Israel's bombing of Iran in June. All new music contains samples of those bombings, Saidi reveals. I do not agree with anything that Israel has done. It's bad to bomb Iran. None of those governments are good, neither is ours. We need to start separating criticism of government from criticism of people or an ethnicity or religion, because it's not the same thing. Speak the truth, sister. However, Saidi doesn't want Lowen's music to be a call to action, hoping instead to create a communal space for listeners. People need to spend more time with each other, she believes, arguing that third spaces, those outside work and home, are being cut away, and I think that is causing so much division. Through division, people are getting away with murder, essentially with genocide. Do Not Go to War with Demons of the Mazadaran is out on Church Road. Lowen will play Underworld London on the 4th of December. So if you want to go see them, get some tickets for Underworld in December. And I'm going to probably go listen to her album, their album, after this podcast, because I love some female metal singers. Got any jokes?
I do. And they involve, oops, what the hell just happened? Okay, they involve names for heavy metal bands for the Middle East. And I asked AI to come up with some good ones.
Okay.
Desert of Decaf is one. Desert of Decaf. Sharia Shockwave. I like that one. Sandwich of Fury. Sandwich of Fury is an excellent name. And two more. The Bedouin Burrito Brigade. You got your alliteration there. And the Camel of Calamity Cleaning Crew. We're just going to keep going on that
Calamity. Right, my new religion is believing the Camel of Calamity shall come down and kill us all with its hoof.
Right?
Like in Breath of the Wild.
The rest of them don't sound that metal. That one kind of does.
Yeah, Cattle of Calamity. The Camel of Calamity.
But Sandwich of Fury is, that one, that's more of a punk name, I would think. Sandwich of Fury. One for Scotland. Hummus and Havoc. There's one.
August and Havoc.
All right. So I don't have a film, so maybe you can find it for me. Film clip today.
Maybe I can find a clip of this new metal band we just discovered.
Somebody made a mashup of Trump applauding Putin, right? And they just clipped it and put it right next to Trump clapping for Epstein as enthusiastically, right? The same enthusiasm. It's like, wow, he really likes himself a perv. But I can't find it. So maybe you can. Anyway, there's today's history. Let's do this day in history.
Yeah,
Spin the wheel.
I'm rolling the segue wheel for a hypothetical, and gets it started.
All right, then. This is 1642. The English Civil Wars. Oh, yeah. Fought between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. It began when King Charles I formally raised the royal standard at Nottingham. And they said, oh, that pissed off old Oliver Cromwell, and everything went to hell. 1851, the first American Cup was won by an American yacht, it's American yacht, a cup. The name of the yacht was America, in the race around the island of Wight, which is, of course, nowhere near America. But the American won it, and the term boat race was born. Of course, if you get boat raced in any sporting competition, that means they got ahead of you and just kept getting farther and farther and farther ahead of you. The race was over as soon as the first pass was made in any yacht race. That's why it's called a boat race, when you get ahead in any game and never, might as well not even been there. Anyway, so getting boat raced. I don't know if it was born then, but that's what the term means. 1862, French composer Claude Debussy, a seminal force in the music of the 20th century, was born in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, I think that's pronounced. He was born in France. 1865, William Shepard received the first U.S. patent for liquid soap. Somebody had to invent liquid soap, and it was that guy, William Shepard. We should call it Shepherd. That's what we should call it. Did you shepherd your hands? That's what we do with a lot of words. 1893, American short story writer and poet Dorothy Parker, who is especially known for her wit, was born. Happy birthday to her. 1904's birthday of Deng Xiaoping, who abandoned many orthodox communist doctrines and became the leader of China after Mao Zedong, and attempted to incorporate elements of free enterprise system into the Chinese economy. And that's why China's been walking over our economy for years, because they get cheap labor and, communism. They can just funnel people where they need them. Oh, you're a farmer? Guess what? Now you're a factory worker. Good luck. 1973, U.S. President Richard M. Nixon named Henry A. Kissinger the Secretary of State, one of the most unqualified people to ever hold a position of authority in the United States, and he is a war criminal. Again, Henry Kissinger just did a lot of talking, did a lot of butt kissing, kissed up to a lot of people in power, and got power himself. So it's a study in sycophantism, whatever you want to call it. 1978, rebel Sandinistas occupied the National Palace in Managua, Nicaragua, holding more than 1,000 hostages for 2 days in opposition to the government and Atanasio Somoza Deval. Somoza was deposed. The United States CIA decided that they hated the Sandinistas and decided to tell everybody they were communists, even when they were just people looking for rights. Again, that's what we do with people looking for rights. We label them as communists. Oh, you want rights? You're a communist. When actually communism has nothing to do with the rights. So, again, the stupid people drive the debate in our country. It's sad and pathetic. 1989, in a game against the Oakland Athletics. Why did I say Raiders? Freudian slip. On this day, 1989, in a game against Oakland Athletics, Nolan Ryan of the Texas Rangers struck out Ricky Henderson to become the first Major League Baseball player to register 5,000 strikeouts. He ended his career with 5,714. He almost got 6,000 strikeouts. Yeah, Nolan Ryan got a lot of strikeouts. He also got a lot of walks. He had a lot of control problems, so he's never like the greatest pitcher of all time, because he did, even though you were striking people out, an out is just an out. It doesn't matter if it's a strikeout, a pop-up, a ground out. An out is an out. And the rest of the guys hitting the ball tended to hit pretty well against him. So if you weren't striking out, you were probably getting a hit. So he wasn't the greatest pitcher of all time. He just threw the hardest for the longest. So he got a lot of strikeouts. 2004, the Scream A painting from Edward Munch was stolen from Munch Museum in Oslo, Norway. It was discovered 2 years later. I know I did this last year. I did a video about the scream. I didn't load that video again, but maybe you can find it, huh? Yeah, it was stolen on this day in 2004. It was painted in 1893, and it was recovered 2 years later. So it recovered, not a lot of detail there. Our featured event is 1485, Wars of the Roses in England. We're making a movie. The movie War of the Roses with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner and Danny DeVito was made back in the 80s or 90s. I think they're making a remake of that with, let's see, Benedict Cumberbatch is one of the actors in it, and the really talented actress from Saturday Night Live is in it. So I've seen a lot of previews. Okay, there's a lot of those, so I don't know which one that is. I know her name. She plays Hillary Clinton, among other people. Oh, she plays a lot of men. No. Oh. Just look up The Roses. It's The Roses. You can do this for maybe the mic drop. The Roses. Oh my God. They have a trailer out now. Yeah.
I've already downloaded something for the mic drop. So.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'll think of her name in a minute. I just having trouble with names sometimes if they're not like on the tip of my tongue. Wars of the Roses ended in England on this day. The actual War of the Roses in 1485, when Henry Tudor, or the future Henry VII, defeated Yorkist King Richard III in the Battle of Bosworth Field on this day. In 1485, effectively ending the Wars of the Roses, established the Tudor dynasty on the English throne. Our featured biography is Henri Cartier-Bresson, French photographer, born August 22nd, 1908, in Chanteloup, France. Died August 3rd, 2004, at the age of 95 in France. Other birthdays today, Deng Xiaoping, we know him. Ray Bradbury, American science fiction author and just general author. Born in 1920. 1934 is the birthday of Norman Schwarzkopf, who would be 91 today. American United States General, Desert Storm guy. 1941 is the birthday of Bill Parcells, American football coach, so he's turning 84. Man, I'm surprised that big fat guy got to be 84. James Corden, British comic actor and writer and television personality, is turning 47 today. He was born in 1978. Our National Day calendar, we shall talk National Surgical Oncologist Day. That's the guy that does cancer surgery. It's National Bao Day. It's a dumpling. It looks delicious. I like me a dumpling with stuff inside of it. It's probably chicken livers or something, right? Never been better, and it looks like it's a dog holiday. Maybe I'll look that up in a minute. That's the day it is. It's National Pecan Tort Day. That is a dessert featuring pecans. And it's National Tooth Fairy Day. And your teeth are going to fall out if you eat too much pecan tort, especially National Pecan Tort. Your teeth will fall out. And never been better, B-E-A-N. Let's figure out what that is. And here comes my... Let's see. No audio. Okay, good. Never been better. This celebration encouraged both the spirit of generosity and sharing the joys of life with the light. Get out in the world with your family pet and plant the bean of love everywhere you go. Share it generously, like dogs do when they take care of us. So there you go. It's about commiserating with your doggy. There's your fun little door. There's your days. There's your things. Everything for today. Your mispronunciations, limericks, even a couple of limericks for August 22nd, 2025 on Before Pecan Tort.
Delicious. Pecans.
Right.
Pecan.
Pecans. Pecans. You can say them anyway. Just eat them.
My hypothetical for you is, imagine all those women who wouldn't have been killed if the Tudors didn't win the War of the Roses because Henry VIII wouldn't have been king and then wouldn't have created the Anglican Church and wouldn't have killed all those women for his problem, honestly. Because he's the one. That's right. But obviously, we didn't know this back in that time, but now in the future, with 2020 hindsight, who causes babies to be male or female? The guy who gives the Y chromosome. So it wasn't his. It was him all along, not his wife's fault. It was him all along. That was,
Henry VIII was probably your first guy who was just flamingly gay, but tried to deny it by getting married a bunch of times, right?
Okay, that's a statement.
How do you get married 8 times? I get tired. I'm like, so how? Not only, I'm just saying, you can get divorced, but you really hate a woman if you get her head cut off, right? I'm sorry.
Like, just let her divorce you and leave her alone. Now I have to execute them. I have to execute all my ex-wives. That's weird.
And don't forget the first Stuart king was James the First king of England, and he was gay, definitely gay. So
okay,
just a little tidbit of information. Yeah, pretty well confirmed.
Okay, pretty well confirmed.
Like, they didn't brag about it in those days.
I don't believe in straight people myself, so everyone's a little bit gay.
Gay is one of those old things. It's really, really old. It goes back to the Greeks, so we can't deny it never existed.
Goes beyond the Greeks, even farther than that.
We definitely know it goes back to the Greeks, though, for sure. So
it's also International Day of commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief, like you're Muslim, beat them up. Okay, a Jewish person, get them. No reason.
They're different. I don't know how.
Yeah. So let's make sure that we don't commit those crimes. Here's an idea. Don't do that. If somebody believes in a different religion than you, leave them the hell alone. There you go. Problem solved. Of course, I'm with limits, right? Don't tolerate the intolerable. If the people who believe in a religion want to force the religion on you, then you can, punch them in the face. But if they are just buying their own damn business, leave them alone. And this has been Allison
being
here.
Liberal.
Oh, also, let me
I just wanted to add, I got to get my video yet. You haven't sent me the video?
I sent you a link 6 minutes ago.
I got to wait for it, so we're going to have to do some little chatting.
Fine. I was doing another day. Because tomorrow is
I was just going to add something before you went. What were we just talking about?
Never mind. Not punching people because they have a different religion, not committing violence against people just because they have a different religion. Like, that's the only thing. Right. They didn't do anything else to you. They're just out there existing. Don't commit violence.
I lost my train of thought. That's okay. That happens to me a lot. I'm used to it.
It's also...
nobody's fault but mine.
Tomorrow is International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. Yeah, that's right. Let us celebrate with UNESCO getting rid of the chattel slavery, slave trade, in which took a bunch of people from a place that they are probably perfectly fine living in and putting them over there, and for some reason they started killing slave owners, and we didn't figure out, hey, maybe these people don't want to be slaves until way too freaking late. The final country to get rid of slavery, the first country to celebrate getting rid of slavery is, of course, Haiti. They had a whole revolution where everyone just took up arms and said, get the hell out of our island. And now they're the first one. And then we have also Gori in Senegal in 1999. It's all about apologizing, first of all, if you were part of the slave trade, especially if you're a company who's still making money from the slave trade, right? You made a lot of stuff due to the slave trade, paying some reparations to Africa and African people and the diaspora, and just giving them the respect reserved. It's not hard. And I know people always bring up the argument, slave happened before that. The problem with the slave trade specifically is that was majorly, it's a macro movement, right? It was a huge multiplication of people compared to previous, more local things, right? Me enslaving somebody, my neighbor, is not the same thing. It's not the same thing as enslaving an entire country worth of people. That's a totally different argument, okay? It has nothing to do with that. Different thing. And that's why we should never do it again, right, guys? Never do again. Please? Thank you.
The British are to blame for all this. They subjugated a lot of people. I will say that. I mean, seriously.
The Dutch, the East India Trading Company, the British East Indian Trading, both of them were trading humans. Rich. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no market for it, you can't sell it, right? Because there was a market for it, they needed slaves. Because, oh my God, this is profitable. We can only do this with slaves. And the people that say, Scottish white people were slaves. Yeah, did white people have to go through Jim Crow for 100 years?
Yeah, no,
I don't think so.
Did they have to keep on saying, don't enslave me? And then
that shuts these idiots up. Every time they say Scottish people were slaves, oh yeah, tell me about Scottish Jim Crow in the South in the 60s, please, because I would really like to know.
Though, as somebody who did write my bachelor's thesis about this, it wasn't as bad as Jim Crow, but there were anti-Irish and anti-Scottish and even anti-Welsh sentiments that were reinforced by English society, which is why Scotland, Ireland, and Wales will always be, we're a different country, and England is trying to say, no, you're part of us, and England doesn't understand that they were assholes for centuries.
Anti-immigrant. Yeah, the anti-Irish, anti-Scottish, anti-Italian was just anti-immigrant. And as those people assimilated, they decided, hey, we're white people too, and the black discrimination did not go away, and it still hasn't. So yeah. Pretending that's the same thing.
The globe is anti-black, 100%.
Africans have not come here willingly. Stop pretending they did. You know. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's do the mic drop. I got it loaded now.
You got the link. Then this has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the U.S., East Coast of the U.S. As we finish up Friday's news dump. I hope you have a good weekend. Happy Friday. Do not worry about the news. We'll cover you on Mucking Fun Day, so just go out there and have a good time and be blissfully unaware of all the things that are happening. 2 days won't hurt you. Don't forget to follow, turn on those notifications, subscribe, and here is our fiery mic drop moment.
Pink Floyd's legendary album "Wish You Were Here" features one of the most iconic covers in rock history.
So, this is I don't know if this is from the documentary or just some guy, but this is what we're talking about, right? This guy is a real person on fire.
The photo was taken here.
Of course, he had a wig on. It's not his hair.
The stuntmen on the cover were Danny Rogers and the man on fire,
which is a perfect place to take that kind of symbolic
like that. Steps out.
Photo on a lot.
And it's a still picture
in Hollywood.
So
what is it? It's symbolic of a businessman getting burned by a deal, but he doesn't know it, right? Every business deal, somebody gets burned. That's a fact, right?
And we got some behind-the-scene footage as well. Very cool.
With its deep themes of absence and loss, "Wish You Were Here" remains a timeless masterpiece. And its album.
It's a good thing about a picture. They didn't have to do it in England. They could do it in
anywhere.
Los Angeles, right? Even though the album was British, start to finish.
Until next.
The cover was from Los Angeles.
It's crazy that it still looks the same, actually. Pretty impressive.
Oh, you think you can tell heaven from hell? Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.